here we go. Mayor Rogers, do you believe the town and village should become a singly governmental entity? Please give the 3 best reasons why or why not.
There are numerous reasons, but off the top of my head quickly, I think there are opportunities for a consolidated government where we no longer have to involve ourselves in intermunicipal agreements, like when Ulster County is asking us to provide them with water at the Government Operations Center. We don't need to go back and look and to see whether that agreement exists, whether that agreement needs to be updated. We should have one board making decisions. We don't need to paper these deals. We don't need to involve attorneys. We don't need to involve village attorneys and town attorneys, and spend time on those things that are just pretty straightforward. I guess a third reason is parades. I don't know how many times as an elected official in this community where we have to go back and forth between the town board and the village board, who's authorized this parade, who's going to pay for staffing. It's just along the same lines in terms of just like very straightforward stuff that doesn't need to be as complicated as it is. It's just like watering the flowers on Main Street. Who's paying for that? Oh, well, this year the town budget is going to pay for the driving of the gator. Oh, well, then we need to enter into an IMA so that the town can legally borrow the village's gator to water those plants. So what we've done subsequently is then the village just hires that person, and then we just alleviate that. It's just like all of this unnecessary, complicated layers of things that don't have to do with delivering essential services. And then a third reason.
You don't have to.
I'll come up with 20 more in a minute, but yeah, I can hand the mic over.
Yes. Supervisor Gatto, same thing. Do you believe the town and village should become a singly governed entity? Please give the 3 best reasons why or why not.
So I can certainly see where there can be some confusion, but these things all sound pretty minor, where like a phone call or an interaction could handle a lot of it pretty easily. And there was a time when we were talking on Friday mornings and kind of getting some of those things out of the way. But what I do see, based on what we've been going through, looking at consolidation, dissolution, consolidation, but what I've been seeing is that, in fact, there are places where we're already sharing a lot of services, and so we're managing that. But there are places when there's very unique, special requirements or needs that are specific to the village or the town. And I think it is a good idea to have a governing body that is paying attention to those specific needs. I mean, half of our residents live in the village and about half live out in the town, but they're very different in terms of density and the types of housing that's there and what the needs are. And what I've been impressed is to see that the village government has been able to focus on these needs and deal with things like good eviction clause, good cause eviction, I got that backwards, and landlord-tenant commissions and affordable housing way ahead of where the town was on any of that, because the need was there and they were able to take care of it. So,
single or not?
Single what?
Should it be single, one government? Or
no. I think there's a need to have 2 governments focusing on the specific needs of the village and the town.
Okay. The village proposed a dissolution plan with the village-only vote in November. Now it changed to consolidation plan with the village and town vote in 2026. Briefly, which is best and why or why not?
Sure. Consolidation or dissolution, there's really no legal difference in terms of where you end up. It's just, which path per New York State general municipal law that you follow. The fact that we were able to compose a dissolution plan that will also be the largely end up being what would be in a consolidation agreement, I think is really important. In a way, this wasn't by design, but we probably ended up saving $50,000 by doing it this way, because we now have a plan, and I think what we learned during that process is like this does not happen unless you're very intentional, and part of the intentionality involves making sure that we figure out the staffing questions. And I've met with my staff numerous times about how do we do this correctly where they don't feel compromised in terms of their longevity and seniority and the fact that they've, committed to building a career in our community. And, I've worked closely with the county Department of Civil Service and personnel and as well as state officials. Like, you have to be very intentional about how we do this. So the advantage of a consolidation agreement versus a dissolution plan is that you can include some of those staffing considerations so that it's not simply a campaign promise. Like, if I'm running for supervisor and the goal is to reorganize the governments and eliminate one legislative board, the goal would be to still end up there, but how do we do it where we actually have a plan that doesn't get the community nervous or the staff nervous, and that is the benefit of a consolidation agreement versus simply doing a dissolution plan, even though at the end of the day, you're just trying to get to the same goal line.